Hello everybody, MegaZardX here, back at it again to give y'all another very exciting video. And for today marks the last video upload I'm going to be doing for the year of 2023. It's been a long year. Had a lot of good updates from Nintendo, a little bit of Sony stuff, and just the gaming industry in general though. But to close things out for this last video of the year, I had to talk about PlayStation because there's been some things weighing heavily on my heart. I made a video roughly a few months ago just addressing the status of Sony, where they're at, whether or not they could be dubbed in a crisis mode right now though. And since then, they made one announcement of a game that's going to be dropping early 2024, which should excite some people. But however, given what the actual game is, this raises some more flags and a little bit more concerns for some things though. So just looking at that, everything they did in 2023 and what we lack in terms of this like a future roadmap into 2024, I just got to sit down and talk to y'all and just keep it $150 with y'all, because I think Sony, I think they're going through some things. I really do. But if you hadn't already done so, make sure you go ahead and hit that like button, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and that bell to stay up to date. All things video game related, I feel like talking about and discussing. But without any further ado, let's go ahead and jump straight up into this video. All right, so Sony managed to come out not too long ago saying that we do have a game that's going to be scheduled to drop as early as January 19th of 2024. Now, before we even knew about this announcement, there's only one thing that we knew that was in the development lineup in terms of some upcoming PlayStation games, and that's literally just Wolverine, but there's no, year stamped on it, nothing like that. That was the only thing we knew that was like concrete going into 2024. We don't even know if that game would technically release that year. My gut's saying maybe 2025 at the earliest, considering the fact we just had Spider-Man 2 that just recently dropped this year though. So before then, we were kind of in the dark, didn't really know what was going on. And then lo and behold, Sony came out in the PlayStation blog, and like they usually do, and say, hey, we got The Last of Us Part 2 remaster that's coming out on January the 19th. Now, some people looked at this, the diehard Last of Us fans were like, oh yes, that's really cool. They managed to do, it's kind of like more like a dub, a director's cut. I don't know why they didn't go with the naming of it though, but they are adding in like 3 new levels up in here, stuff that got cut from the original game. They managed to put that up in there, as well as some other quality of life stuff they managed to squeeze up in the game though. So at surface value, it seems okay. Luckily, it's only a $10 upgrade to go up to this if you haven't already owned the original version on the PS4. However, for a lot of us just looking outside in, I'm like, wait a minute, you could technically play The Last of Us Part 2 already on the PS5, and there is already a patch for that to take advantage of the software that's actually in the PS5 already. Yet you're spending your time and resources to making a remaster of a game that literally came out on the last generation console. Is this really worth it? I'm like, I honestly feel like it's not really warranted that. And it's just crazy because I feel like Naughty Dog as a studio could be doing a whole lot of other things. Maybe they can go ahead and work on the next entry of the series, or just, give Uncharted series just a little bit of love though. But push all of those thoughts aside, they're just really fixated on just pumping us out easy things that they can turn around, especially within the Last of Us series. It kind of rubs some people off the wrong way, especially me personally though. The bigger picture is, if we were to put that aside, we still don't know any brand new PS5 games, first party developed studios from Sony themselves. We don't know anything cooking in the kitchen outside of Wolverine, and maybe that one's a little further down the road. That is still a #1 big concern. So I'm like, well, what the heck do we even have to look forward to from PlayStation first party wise, or we can also look in third party wise in general though. So let's go ahead and whip up the website here real quick. All right, so I had the PlayStation website open up because I'm just curious. I'm like y'all, I'm like, give me something new and exciting to kind of look forward to. A lot of y'all out there might have just picked up a PS5 for the holidays and stuff like that. So you might be wondering what is their new, not necessarily old, but you might be wondering what's cooking in terms of new. So they got Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. We already know about that. That game already came out. Helldivers 2, that's technically second party, not first party necessarily though. Let's see here, more upcoming games like what? Rise of the Ronin. I saw that in the state of play. Look kind of cool. Stellar Blade, that's an exclusive coming to the PS5, but it's not first party. We might be lucky if that comes out in like October of 2024 and stuff. Skull and Bones, Suicide Squad. Man, that game's probably gonna suck when it comes out though. And we looped all the way around. Look at that. They don't have any kind of plans, anything kind of future proof out for anything new that we can basically expect. They don't even have like it advertised for the Last of Us Part 2 remaster up here on this list though. So I'm like, well, what the heck is Sony actually on right now? And I'm just scrolling through all of this stuff right now, and I'm like, well, right up at the top and center, they got all these other games that we already know about. There's Last of Us Part 1, Horizon Forbidden West, Gran Turismo, Miles Morales, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, Uncharted, Returnal, Ghost of Tsushima. That was a good game right there, though. But, I mean, there's a lot of things you can play for games that have already released. But in terms of upcoming stuff, it's just like what the heck? Now, obviously, you have cool, interesting third-party stuff that's like out on the horizon. Like we do know Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is going to be coming out, February the 29th on that leap year day, though. So we had some cool stuff coming, though. But I mean, like, what the heck? So yeah, so outside of those third-party games, we really don't know much of anything else. I mean, you're looking at the PlayStation VR 2, like what the heck were they doing with that? Like, when was the last time we had a first-party update in terms of things coming out for that one particular thing? I feel like that kind of nosedived off the cliff. I mean, yes, we gotten a few things from some state of plays here and there, though, like that Ghostbusters thing and just some interesting stuff. Maybe Gran Turismo was like the best thing for VR or / even looking at third party wise, Resident Evil 4. But I mean, outside of that, and maybe Village, there wasn't that many more things going on here. I'm just like, what the heck? I wasn't even about to mention this though, but indies, couch player, free to play, sports, single player fighting game, anime. What Persona 5? Hold the phone. Hold the stinking phone right here. Hold the phone. Let me make this bigger right here. What the heck? Okay. This is another side tangent. I was like, Persona 5 is considered to be a game, not necessarily anime, but yet you had anime plastered over. What the heck? Okay, that was just a quick tangent. That's not even the focal point in this video. I just had to say that. Like, what the heck? So yeah, so with that crazy aside, I'm just gonna shift that over there, act like that mess never happened. Seriously, Sony, like what in the world is going on with your first party output? Like that's the main reason why people like to buy your games. Obviously, you can make those third party exclusive deals with other developers and publishers and stuff that incentivize people to come over to your platform, like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. That'll drop out February next year though, but you still got to bring your own game to your own home field, because I feel like you're bringing in some really good players you're playing off against and you're getting some pretty good draft picks and stuff for your football team and stuff. But I'm like, but where's your main quarterback? Where's the dude that's supposed to lead the charge on this? I don't understand this, Sony. I mean, granted, you did some cool things this year in terms of just building your ecosystem out, adding some little extra stuff. Like, I guess you're throwing some accessories here and there, though. You had a cool limited edition thing for Spider-Man 2 and stuff like that, though. The questionable PlayStation Portal, I mean, yes, that's good to have options to be able to play that for anywhere you want, as long as you're connected to Wi-Fi. However, not being able to actually play anything locally on that thing, it's just purely Wi-Fi related device. I mean, your miles may vary depending on your internet connection speed and stuff like that. It's good to have options, but I felt like they might have halfway cooked that idea though. I mean, they had some things going for them, but then you even look at some weird stuff that happened this year with the whole PlayStation Plus price increase. Like they raised that sucker up across the board roughly about 20-ish bucks depending on the tier and stuff like that. Like even the base tier now, instead of $60 for essential, it's like $80 now. I can't understand or even justify why in the world they even increased the prices on that though. So I'm like, it's a really mixed bag with Sony. They do some things good and then they do like several things bad that makes them seem like they're taking one step forward and then 2 steps back. So I'm like, I just really don't understand kind of what's going on there. And then I don't think there's anything controversial with, Jim Ryan stepping down from the CEO and, just kind of chilling and living his best life, with those big fat paychecks he made. I don't think there's anything, or any kind of weird or any ulterior motives with this though. But I mean, just thinking about it, I'm like, okay. I don't know. 2024 is be really interesting. Once we have The Last of Us Part 2 remaster in our hands and, that release has came and went, then I'm going to be really curious to see exactly what could be the next major first party game from Sony that isn't a remake or a remaster. I mean, I already kind of mentioned that in one of my previous videos for like a predictions for what I would like to see as hopes and wishes for 2024. In that video, I mentioned how I would say there's going to be no first party games in 2024 in general. Still stand by that thought, minus the Last of Us. That's a remaster, but I was just more so thinking about new games in general though. So, it's just something to kind of keep in mind though. So if you happen to be a new PlayStation 5 owner or something, especially for the diehard Sony fans out there that have been, eating up everything Sony since PS4, PS3, maybe even going all the way back to PS2 and stuff. You might have played a lot of these games already. You might have played a lot of these games that have been released on PS4 and have just been getting director's cuts or remasters and stuff brought over there. So especially for y'all, I would love to see down in the comment section down below, what all have you been thinking about in terms of, everything that Sony has been putting out? Has this year been okay? Or are you a little bit concerned about what could be coming up for 2024? Because right now, it's like walking down a dark alley in the middle of the city. You can barely see any lights turned on. You might see like a little rat scurrying across the street and stuff like that. You'd be like, what the heck was that? You don't know, you're about to get mugged. I mean, that's just the status of Sony right now, though. It's interesting how we're getting so many console sales and they're managing to sell through so many of those PS5s. We did manage to get a new revision of this year, but it's not necessarily anything to increase the power of. It's just more so to save them like a buck and stuff in terms of manufacturing and stuff. But outside of that, on paper, it seems like Sony's doing good, but logistically behind closed doors, I'm wondering if something is kind of going awry. I'm just saying though. But I would love to hear all your thoughts down in the comment section down below. But that's going to basically do it in terms of today's video though. So if you really like it, make sure you're going to hit that like button, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and that bell to stay up to date on all things video game related I feel like talking about and discussing. So remember y'all, until what video I make next, see y'all.